our Cincinnati Reds are getting busy. They have made some pretty decent moves this offseason. Obviously, they haven't made a big name splash in the free agent pool. Soto going to the Mets. You got Blake Snell going to the Dodgers. Justin Verlander to the Giants. Just a lot of different moves. But the Reds didn't really go after any of the big name stars. And they even let a couple go. In terms of decent players, they let go of Jacob Junis. You let go of a few others like Ahmed Rosario, Ty France. They didn't really go after any of those guys or try to re-sign them. Ty France still being a free agent, and I believe Ahmed Rosario going to the Nationals. So awesome for the Nationals. You get yourself a nice veteran player, and I hope he fits well in Washington. That's all I can say. As for the Reds and the moves they've made this offseason, I think they've been pretty good, like I said. Not special, not A+, no, B-. I think it's been a B- offseason, which is still pretty respectable, right? A B-, I think that's pretty respectable. But we're going to talk about the moves right now. So, first things first, they traded Jonathan India, former Rookie of the Year, and Joey Wiemer for Brady Singer on the Kansas City Royals. They made this trade to get some starting pitching depth, and this gives them a middle-of-the-rotation guy who, in my opinion, is going to give you very similar numbers to a Andrew Abbott-style pitcher. So you're going to see, 3.87 ERA from him. Around that category is what I would hope for and expect reasonably for a guy like this. He had a pretty good first half and then a shaky second half, but still overall a pretty good season, a pretty respectable record and ERA. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table for Cincinnati. This is a good pickup. Maybe you overpaid a little bit, but you weren't really ever going to use Wiemer. You weren't really ever going to use India when McLean came back. So I get it. And the Reds make up for it with another move when they trade Fernando Cruz, a near 5 ERA relief pitcher last year for the Reds. And they get a former Gold Glove, former All-Star catcher in Mr. Jose Trevino. Trevino, nothing too crazy, but he does have a little more pop in his bat than the last 6 backup catchers for the Reds. I mean, my goodness, he's going to be better than Tucker Barnhart would have been. He's going to be better than Kurt Casale would have been, better than Luke Maile. He's going to bat. He's got a good glove, and that means you can play Stevenson at DH sometimes when he's having a, ailing injury that he doesn't really want to play catcher with having. This keeps Stevenson on the field more. Always good news for the Reds when he's on the field more. So, welcome Jose Trevino. Pretty good trade for the Reds. Like I said, they really didn't give up much. So, Fernando Cruz's 109 strikeouts might be missed, but that 5 ERA will not be missed. So go throw your splitter in New York, sir. Next move they made is trading for Gavin Lux, getting the Dodgers second baseman. I found this to be interesting. I really didn't know how to feel at the moment, but, he had a 250 average. He had 10 home runs, really bad first half, and then seemed like he kind of got over his injuries that he was ailing from in the first half, in the second half, and started to play good. So, we hope to see more of that in the season with the Reds. We hope he continues to hit. Obviously, Great American's a bandbox, so I think you can expect a 14 home run season from Lux. At the end of the day, we got to see what happens. I'm going to give him 14 or 15 bombs. That's what I believe he can do. And if he can hit around that 240, 250, 260 line, especially going more towards the 260, 270, I think this could be a huge pickup for the Reds. Then you talk about some of the other notables, like them reuniting with a couple left-handers, that being Alex Young. They traded him in the deadline last year to the Diamondbacks, and they get him back here. So they get Alex Young back, a good left-handed pitcher. You bring back Wade Miley. He's 38 now, so not really much to do besides be a veteran presence, but he can still pitch a little bit. He's not completely washed, so he's got a little bit left in the tank, I believe. Let's hope he can come back. He should start playing with the Reds around May when he fully recovers and comes back from his injury. We'll see how he works his way up the minors and gets his call up. I'm rooting for him. I'm absolutely rooting for Wade Miley. So, awesome job. They also get some more left-handed bullpen depth in Mr. Taylor Rogers. Yes, that's going to be one of their back end of the bullpen guys now. Pretty much a Fernando Cruz replacement. He's going to get those strikeouts. He can get big outs for you late in games. So this also takes some pressure off of Alexis Diaz, and it takes some pressure off of the Reds' back end of the bullpen. You needed this a lot. Now talking about, like I said, the rest of the stuff the Reds have done, nothing too crazy, nothing too notable. So it was a good offseason overall. As I said, I think they fixed some things they needed to fix, and they upgraded on positions they needed to upgrade on. But I don't think they made that number one big splash move, and that might haunt them later in the season, like when they run out of energy or run out of juice, and you need that player. But we'll see what they do at the trade deadline. We'll see if the Reds are willing to make any moves. It was a decent offseason. I give it a B-. And quite frankly, I think that's what it deserves, is a B-. It's been a decent offseason. And I'm excited for this team. Like I said, I really think there's a chance they could win this division. I don't see the Pirates as too much of a threat outside of, some of their starters like Skeens, like Keller. I believe we got Jared Jones as well. The Brewers did get Nestor Cortez in that Devin Williams trade. So maybe they, figure out a way to make him still be good, and you never know with Milwaukee. So, yeah, there are some question marks. Obviously, the Cubs getting Kyle Tucker, also a good move. They moved on from Cody Bellinger. I think they're a little bit better version of what they were last season, and they won, 83 games? So we might see them win 88, 90 games. If they get hot, we just don't know. So we don't know what to expect from the division. This is the Reds' time. Ellie De La Cruz, Encarnacion, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer. I'm expecting good seasons out of all those guys if you want to make the playoffs. And obviously, Spencer Steer, just continue doing what you're doing. Try to hit for a little bit more power this season and try to get your average up. I think the Reds can do it. I think they can get back to the wild card for the first time since 2020. And this is the year, boys. I'll keep you noted if they make another move. Go Reds.